My name is Dan Iannicola. I am with the Financial Literacy Group, which is a consulting firm which offers solutions to nonprofits, for-profits, and government, all in the financial literacy space. Prior to that, you might have known me from my earlier role as Deputy Assistant Secretary at Treasury over Financial Education. So about a decade in this field, and I'm going to draw upon that to talk about some of these actionable solutions. We heard about some great theory, and we need to tap research more. But as I learned from my years at Treasury, people would bring a lot of programs to me. There was a lot of things that were very interesting, very intriguing, but not very actionable. So what I want to talk about is the demand side. What do employers want? What do they need? What do they not want? And focus also on the employers as gatekeepers, and then, of course, looking at the gated, the employees themselves. So if you have this intervention at the workplace and the employer is sold that the employees are not, then the ship never makes it to port. So let me talk a little bit about that. Before I do, though, let me thank Anna, Ari, and Olivia for their tremendous leadership for the last couple of years through the ups and downs of this center. Having seen research as a footnote, as an asterisk years ago for financial literacy, and then seeing the growth that it's really front and center, I think that's owed to the dedication of a few key people, and you certainly are three among them. So thanks for that. Yeah. Is that coming on my 5 minutes? Sucking up to the sponsor, is that ever? In any case, so the big 5 things that I would say are some of the things that gatekeepers are looking at. This is what might attract them to financial literacy programs. And of course, I'm trying to kick up some intellectual dust here, so if there's more than 5, then we want to hear them during question and answer. Certainly the discrimination rules. We want to get the low end of the pay scale investing in their 401ks or equivalents. Another thing that you hear posited, and I don't know that there is some research there, but it's a tough argument to make. It's a long chain, and all the links aren't all that strong, and I've seen employers kind of glaze over when they hear this argument. Increased efficiency. Your employees are stressed because of their bills. True enough. If you take away that stress through financial education, first weak link, then they're going to work better and have higher efficiency and make more widgets per unit. Good luck proving that. Some have tried, and I think we should keep trying that, but there's a reason why that doesn't seem to have a lot of traction with the employers that I speak to. So I think it's healthy to keep trying at that, but that's the toughest argument to make. I think some other lower hanging fruit that is not looked at are things like one of the other factors would be improved morale. Employees, I would offer, like to see their employers doing things for them. It is perceived as another company benefit, be it any of these programs, the interventions like automatic default, or just the lunchtime seminar, or better yet, a workday seminar, and all the different things that come out. Even if I don't use them, I know you care for me, and that's important. So my company is looking out for me. That's a big deal. Another one I would say is, perhaps a neighbor to that idea, is greater retention. Companies that look out for me, I will be more likely to stay with them. Again, it's the whole idea of financial literacy as its own company benefit. And then also on the greater retention side, it plugs in, it's an activator. Financial education can be the thing that makes the light go off to say, oh, these company benefits are pretty good. If I'm not really sure about the difference between pre-tax dollars and post-tax dollars, a lot of your benefits aren't all that impressive. Once I know that, I see what you're doing for me. I see the real compensation to me as the employee, and it's not just my net income. Reduce litigation risk. As a former attorney, I appreciate that one. And you can really have some traction there. In fact, some of the companies that I see going with larger interventions in financial literacy usually do so when they're switching plans. And one would think that litigation or confusion for employees, which might lead to litigation, might be driving that. So when there are plan change, a lot of employers will turn to financial literacy to make the switch a little smoother. So that's the gatekeepers. How about the gated? The things that I've seen that work with some of these programs, this is picking up maybe a cut deeper than Anna was able to get into on some of these best practices. If it's on the clock, it's a lot better. I actually hosted one at U.S. Treasury because when I was at Treasury, I'd go around and tell employers, you should be doing this. I realized I'm living in a glass house throwing some stones. So then I thought, well, let's do it myself and see if my own advice works. And what do you know, it did. One thing that we would emphasize is, the lunchtime seminar is nice, but now you're pitting financial education against a sandwich or going out or getting some free time, and the sandwich sometimes wins. So if that's all you can do, then do it. If not, have it during the day. Now, having it during the day is not enough because it might be seen amongst the ambitious in the cubicle world as a frolic. Yes, you can go do this thing, but it's kind of like a field trip. It's nothing really going on. I should be at my desk creating the widgets. One way I solve that at Treasury is I think there's a deputy. No, there was a undersecretary in the bureaucratic side of things in Washington. That's pretty good. So he sent an email a day or two before our little seminar, and he said, "Not just I encourage you to go, but I'm going." Now all these suck-up principles that exist in Washington, they work toward my favor. And he never showed up. I didn't care because everybody thought he would, and that worked for me. So if you can get a VP to say they're going, and if they do show up, put them in the front row. And so they get their brownies just by being seen there, instead of having someone frown at them for having the cubicle empty when it shouldn't be. Another one is make sure your topics are non-stigmatizing. Who wants to go to a workplace seminar advertised as "Get out of your tremendous debt"? Are you not paying your bills on time? It's that, oh sure, I want to go to that. I want my boss to see me going to that. So think about those things. We featured ours, and ours was really more of an experiment there at Maine Treasury, as credit scores and how you can affect your credit score and your credit report. Now, that's a very interesting topic, we found, because that is kind of mysterious to a lot of individuals, and they're starting to understand that it's both mysterious and relevant, so they came. Now, we could pack into that a lot of budgeting, a lot of other things, kind of Trojan horse, sneak in good lessons that we couldn't get them to hear if we had a stigmatizing headline. Sales free, that seems fairly obvious. People want to trust their employer, especially when they don't know a lot. They want an intermediary, and they love an intermediary that isn't selling them anything. Who better than your employer? And so if you have somebody who's an expert, they can't be selling anything while they're doing it. Let's see, one or two more. And if it's not just based on retirement, it becomes much more interesting. If it's telling you how to pay for help your parents pay for their long-term care, whatever it may be, things that are very topical to maybe the sandwich generation, or how to use savings plans for college, or how to navigate the whole financial aid process for post-secondary education. Those things will get people in addition to the retirement programs. And then lastly, an individualized option, because no one is going to raise their hand and give the juicy question that's really burning and very personal in that group setting. You may be able to give them some kind of on-ramp knowledge that makes them spot their own issues, diagnose their own illness, but they're not going to get the cure in that room. They'll want to follow up with somebody via email, phone, etc. So those are some of the ideas, both for the gatekeepers and the gated, which we think would help promote financial education in the workplace. So look forward to your questions.